the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
And it's Antetokounmpo penetrating. Count it. Antetokounmpo's got 6.
Well, guarding Antetokounmpo is really difficult because of how awkward he can get around the floor and how much space he can take up.
Now here's Jones. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game.
And you see the ability to rise and fire from mid-range, even against that length.
I don't think he sees any kind of defense when he's at that range. It doesn't matter who's guarding him.
And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Hard to get upset at the defense there. Antetokounmpo is no easy matchup down low in the paint.
The Bucks shooting their first free throws of the game right now. Big group substitution here for Milwaukee. Ilyasova, he's checked in for Lopez. Pat Connaughton comes in for Chris Middleton. Dante DiVincenzo, he's checked in for Wesley Matthews. And George Hills subbed in for Eric Bledsoe. Dragic against Hill. And it's out of bounds. The Bucks able to retain possession here. Five seconds left to play in the first quarter. And the layup is good.
George Hill looked pretty good going to the rim that time. Not thrown off stride. And he created a nice shot opportunity.
And so it's the Miami Heat heading to the bench with a 7-point. The trade deadline is approaching, and Jimmy Butler talked about how
Feelings are different for everybody, to tell you the truth. For me, I don't think about it because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You go out there and control what you can.
Staying level-headed and ready for whatever's next. That's Jimmy's mindset, Greg, in a nutshell.
And it's fair to say that the level of professionalism and maturity he possesses is really impressive.
And we welcome you back to our special Noche Latina broadcast as the second quarter getting going right now. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Heat?
Boy, their offense looks really good when everyone's in sync. Terrific first quarter.
I couldn't ask for a better one right now. Just a complete rhythm by all the guys who got some minutes. Wonderful start.
Jay Crowder out there with the Olynyk. And there's Iguodala. And there's Dragic. And it's Hilo in at the 2. It's the group on the floor for Miami. Each team has a catalyst, Brent. Some guys are ball dominant. They play within the flow of the offense. Is there one approach better than the other?
Obviously, great coaches, Kevin, are going to find what it is that their best player does well. And as many times as I could get my best player into that situation, that's what I'm going to do. So if it's Harden in isolation, James Harden's going to be in isolation. If it's Steph Curry setting off-ball screens and relocating for threes, well, I'm going to do that too. So it all comes down to a fit with the player, his skill set, and how the coach wants to use that best.
Myers Leonard, he's checked in for Miami. And then for Milwaukee, Marvin Williams is checked in for Ilyasova. And it's Korver in for Pat Connaughton. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, Chris Middleton was a first-time All-Star in 2019. We all know that Middleton is one of the league's best shooters, but he had to adjust his game to a new system under coach Mike Budenholzer. Middleton said, "I guess that's what being an all-star is, a team player and a complete player. Not playing for stats, playing for nothing else but to win." Kevin?
First-time All-Star and well-deserved. David, thank you. Here's DiVincenzo after the Heat pick up 2. And the dunk by Olynyk.
Yeah, he can surprise you around the rim. Olynyk has some lift.
Bucks trail by 14. The pass to Lopez. And it's sent back by Leonard. Here's Dragic. Again, the Heat good for 2.
At this point, I don't know what you can do to slow this team down.
Well, nothing that they're doing seems to be making an impact. And there are some nights where you just run out of options, whether it's by personnel or by tactic.
Here's Lopez, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
very efficient, well-tuned offense for the Bucks. They drive, they kick, they get open threes. Second in the league last year, as that was Mike Budenholzer's biggest change in threes.
Here's what Milwaukee's going with right now. Antetokounmpo's checked in for Williams. Chris Middleton comes in for Dante DiVincenzo. And Eric Bledsoe subbed in for George Hill. Now here's Bledsoe. This one for three. Rebound by Butler. Nunn passes to Robinson. Here's Adebayo. And that's good. Robinson picking up the assists. Adebayo's got 5 now.
They have a good plan going right now, and they're starting to create separation.
The game plan might have been good, but you have to bring it together. Right now, their chemistry is something to be admired.
And so it's Miami with an 18-point lead as the quarter comes to a close. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out.
Ain't about me, ain't about me. Gotta cook it up, come hungry. Ain't about me, ain't about me. Gotta cook it up, come hungry. Throw money in the air, can't drop the ball. If I do black moves on call, ain't about me.
Where do I start? Where do I get my rhythm? Where do I get my groove?
I always start off with a bounce. You just start with a bounce, and then you see.
I'm part of the baddest game, most successful game.
Ain't about me. Yeah, I used to ask for change in the streets. Now I'm changing the streets. Mama, yeah, tell me what you need. I'm the new swap meet. Told you I'm a, yeah, everybody wanna break.
And in the locker room, each guy has been going over and through his own routine to get ready. But once they take the floor, what a wonderful view of the lights of Miami here on Good evening and welcome to tonight's presentation of Noche La NBA, an annual tradition in the NBA celebrating diversity and culture, and always a pleasure to bring it to you. Joined by Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge. This DA, it's all yours.
Well, almost all of the Greek Freaks' points come in the paint.
You're right, DA. It'll be scary. Thanks. And a moment now to look at the year-to-year scoring output and how it has been trending for Lopez.
And looking at his offensive numbers from the past few years, it seems like teams around the league have kind of figured him out. He's having to work a lot harder for his points, and they haven't been coming nearly as easily as they used to.
Here are the starters for Milwaukee. The backcourt comprised of Bledsoe and Matthews. Giannis is the 4 with Lopez the 5. And it's Middleton in at the 3 spot. And for the Heat, they've got Adebayo. Jimmy Butler is out there with Jones. Then it's Robinson. And it's Nunn in at the point.
Where you always have confidence in the Heat organization is at the top. Pat Riley with 9 championship rings as a player, as an assistant coach, as a head coach, and as a team president. He knows how to win from every perspective.
Drills the three-pointer. And it's Bledsoe with the ball for the Milwaukee Bucks. 4-point game. The wide open look here for Lopez. Bangs home the trifecta.
Both teams running perimeter-oriented plays that are working.
How often do we see this these days? Clubs answering each other from range.
Adebayo with the bucket. You're right, Steve. You look at Riley's career, most people are just looking to accomplish one of the things he's done.
Kevin, he has a great mind. He's incredibly driven. He understands how to motivate people, and he understands what's important to focus on. You see the game plan is working already. 4 straight makes to start this one.
Bounce pass onto Kumbo. The shot by Middleton, wide open. And the 3 off target. And the pass to Butler. The 19-foot shot, and he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down. Butler's got his second bucket tonight.
That shot was contested, but we forget Jimmy Butler is around 6'8", shot over him.
And Lopez throws it down.
And that's a little lack of fight at the defensive end.
Absolutely. At least on that slam, you're right. That's one way to let a team back in the game.
Yeah, defensively, your mantra at this point has to be no easy buckets.
Shots good by Butler.
The J from Jimmy Butler is becoming money, burying those shots.
Bucks have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. And it's Bledsoe off the drive. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
Just setting the tone with an aggressive move to the rack. And where's the help defensively?
No excuse. You have to be aware. He should be on your radar all the time.
That one good for 2.
Moving it around. 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
Bucks trail by 7. And there's the call on Jones. That's his first foul. Crowder, he's checked in for Jones. And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. Now here is Hill. Defense is right there. Shot clock at 5. Over to the left wing. Here's DiVincenzo. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. There's Dragic with the 3. No good on the last second attempt there. And so it's Miami heading to the bench with a 7-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. They've dictated the pace, pushed the ball at every chance, and it's paying off for them. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Tough-nosed Jimmy Butler talks about the mantle of being a franchise.
You call me a leader, all-star, whatever you want to call it.
And that's what he worked for. And he works as hard as anyone, Greg, in the NBA.
And you see that competitiveness and desire in his play.
Welcome back to Noche Latina, celebrating the Latin culture and their love for the game of basketball. It just keeps growing. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from Miami, guys.
Well, they used the fast break to generate some easy buckets before the defense could get set.
You know this, the team that dictates the pace typically rules the roost. We see that here early on.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. On the floor. For Miami, they've got Iguodala, Jay Crowder out there with Kelly Olynyk. Then there's Dragic, and it's Hilo in the shooting guard.
Well, when you watch Goran Dragic play, you can tell the precision that he has with his movement and footwork. But as pretty as his game is, he has a bit of edge to him. Very fiery player.
And so it's Crowder with it. They'll bring it up for Miami. Next up for them, the Knicks coming out here to play. And that'll be the third of the four straight at home. Here's Hilo. Off target from outside. And Smitty, as you alluded to with Dragic, he's gotten in more confrontations than you would think.
He's a scrapper and does whatever it takes to win. Reminds me of a little bit of John Stockton with that mentality. But that's exactly the kind of mindset you want from your lead guard.
Now here's Iguodala. That's tipped. Passes it to Dragic. Launch.
Money coming blue when they print it. All set. You in the Senate. See you in a minute. I see you in the middle in the roads, just rent it. Try to try me like I was a gimmick. Now I got a number one, now they hit me. Number one. You heard that? And then I had to take a bow. I was going down the wrong path.